Hi, Mamelin. This is John from NVIDIA. Just double checking, was this meeting rescheduled to 9 a.m. on every other Tuesday? That's what I thought.
Morning.
Good morning. I wasn't sure if I've got the correct new time. Okay.
Yeah, this is the right time. I don't know where everybody is. Now let me ping Paul to see if he's on his way. Okay, Paul said he'll be here in a few.
Okay, great.
Are you headed to Mobile World Congress?
I am not going to Mobile World Congress.
Okay. Remind me where you're located.
I'm in Santa Clara, California.
Oh, okay.
Is Mobile World Congress? This is not in Barcelona, is it? Is this the one in?
It is. It's the one in Barcelona.
Oh, okay, yeah. I would love to go to Barcelona, but it's not in the cards for me this year.
Me too. I didn't know you were in Santa Clara. So I'm in Pleasant Hill,
Oh, okay.
which is closer to like Concord and Oakland.
Yeah. No, I know roughly where that is. I drive through that area fairly often.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I like it here. We have been here 5 years, 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
Yeah.
cute.
Well, I don't often drive through Pleasant Hill itself, but I'm often driving through like Concord, Walnut Creek.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, Walnut Creek is nice. I like that area a lot.
yeah. Sometimes in the summer I go rock climbing in Walnut Creek or Mount Diablo State Park.
Mm-hmm. So, one summit is in San Jose in April. Are you going to be attending that?
I haven't thought about that. Is that one like the ONI summit or just ONE one summit? One.
Yeah,
You
it's
have to remind me.
hosted by LF Networking and LF Edge. So I think it stands for Open Networking Edge Summit.
Okay, I will look that up.
Yeah.
I am not familiar with that event, or I missed the earlier discussion about it.
Yeah. Well,
Good.
Paul has a speaking opportunity there. And I think that the team is looking into maybe having a sponsorship. So we'll have our own booth and we'll have, somewhere to show demos.
Yes. How are you folks doing? Sorry, I was late. My last one went long.
Okay. We just discovered that we live close, not close, but we live almost near each other.
Okay.
Like
As
an hour
California
apart.
is.
Yeah, that's pretty close for California terms.
Yeah, that is really close in California time. So that's that's like commuting time. Oh. Um, let's see. I have a few things to chat about.
Okay.
First one is we haven't talked in this forum that about SmartNIC Summit not happening this year.
Oh yeah.
I talked to the SmartNIC Summit organizers from last year, and they are not doing SmartNIC Summit this year. They, I gather they didn't make enough money. They didn't have enough people. I don't know what it was, but they are not doing it again this year. So
Oh, okay.
that means that we aren't having that as an opportunity to do something like a half day tutorial day or something like that. And we need to figure out what we do about that and at what venue we want to try and do something more than just a breakout session. What venue do we want to try and get everybody together and put on a kind of a half day or maybe even a full day set of sessions?
And last year was SmartNIC Summit in May, if I remember.
It was either May or June, I think. But yes, it was last year.
I wonder if there weren't enough SmartNIC Summit vendors or to drive the business they wanted last year in terms of sponsorships and as well as attracting attendees. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, I thought it was.
If there's a certain.
There were 300 people there, maybe 350. I don't know what they were expecting, but it felt like it was pretty buzzy. There were quite a few it was done at the Hilton in San Jose, which is right next to the convention center. And it was done at the DoubleTree in San Jose.
Actually, yes, I remember. I attended part of it, but yeah.
And they filled those session rooms and stuff like that. So I thought it was okay. But nonetheless,
maybe they needed at least 500 people to make it work, or
yeah, I don't know, but they decided not to do it this year. And so we need to determine, one, do we want to do a session somewhere, and if so, where?
So Sridhar will have more information on this than I do, but I do know that at some of the flagship open source events for the Linux Foundation, they are offering co-located space for projects. And so you don't have to pay for the room.
Okay.
But they're saying that, if you want, refreshments or anything like that,
right.
That will need to cost something. But I'm pretty sure that all you have to do is fill out a form and let them know which days you want to do it. So if, like, for Open Source Summit North America, I think the options were that Monday before the conference starts or Friday after the conference ends.
And Open Source Summit is when?
Open Source Summit North America is April in Seattle.
April in Seattle.
April 16th through the 18th. And so I know that a lot of projects have signed up to host what they're calling like mini summits, which is basically what we did at SmartNIC Summit with our presentations and trying to engage the community.
That's
so they have
2 months from now, or less than 2 months from now.
Yeah, is tight. They also have this opportunity for Open Source Summit Europe, which is in Vienna. And then Open Source Summit Japan, which will be in December. So
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't think
know.
I think North America is where that's where most of our members are, is in North America.
Mhm.
What do you two think? Is 2 months from now too quick to try and pull something like that off? It was
I think it
quite a bit of
depends
work
on.
last year.
Yeah, so I wasn't involved last year, but I think it would be. It depends what kind of event. If we can get a session, then it makes sense. It should be. I think that's enough time, plenty of time to prepare. But if it's to exhibit or have a booth, or it might be it might be a bit late.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've already set the agenda and assigned all the sessions or speakers.
They did. They actually just announced it last week.
Mm-hmm.
Then I guess the easiest thing would be to try to join in one of the panel discussions that's already there. If there's one that will take an additional speaker or an additional representative, especially if it's one that talks about either talks about infrastructure acceleration or talks about, I don't know, APIs or
Right.
data center infrastructure, or has other Linux Foundation projects that might be related.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the summit actually, other I'm just looking at the webpage that
Right.
Maymily mentioned it.
Or, if we have a booth at one summit, can we kind of pair that with maybe like a meetup of something, or we can do like a happy hour or meetup at like a local restaurant or bar, and then kind of talk through some of our presentations.
That would, I think that would work. Yes.
Or we can get a room at One Summit also.
We could, that's even closer than Open Source Summit, isn't it?
Yeah, it's farther out time wise. It's April,
Oh, it is.
late April.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's end of April to April 29th to May 1st. It's in San Jose, so geographically close to me. And I see that it appears that Intel, NVIDIA, Linux Foundation are already sponsored, or presenters. I don't know if they're sponsors or speakers. Red Hat
I have a speaking session there.
Oh, okay.
At One Summit.
Yeah.
It's interesting. They have many speakers listed, and some supporters, but very few sponsors listed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if any of the speakers are also sponsors, but
Are the vendors going to be there? NVIDIA, Intel.
it says NVIDIA, Intel, not Marvell, but NVIDIA, Intel are speakers. Doesn't, along with, there are a bunch of speakers, Red Hat, VMware, Linux Foundation, Nokia, Dell, Cisco.
Mm-hmm.
But again, just looking at the page, it's hard for me to figure out. Well, it says speakers supported by, which has a bunch of maybe smaller companies, and then sponsors. They list one sponsor.
Who is the sponsor? Supported. Oh,
Oh,
supported by, so
that
these are all the projects underneath the umbrella, right? So these are all the networking and edge projects. So, oh yeah, there's one.
Sridhar, what would it cost to get a room at one summit for a half a day?
No, I can check that. I can check that. Definitely. See, I think we thought of having a booth or something for a 4 to 5K kind of a thing, which will also do the marketing, some kind of marketing and booth space for us for the OPI project thing.
Yeah, that was the sharing with a couple of other
Correct,
projects.
correct. So in that, I can request for a room space for particular time kind of.
I mean, I don't have a problem paying for it. I think we've got the budget to do that. We were thinking we were going to have to do it for SmartNIC Summit, so that's not a problem.
Yeah.
The difficulty for me is just the planning and execution of it, and getting our speakers lined up and having enough content to deliver for a half
See,
day.
if it's a formal event, then I think whatever challenge you are mentioning that's correct, Paul. But I think if it's a kind of an informal gathering kind of a thing, I don't know whether that will help. I don't know. I think like a formal gathering, like a mini summit kind of a thing, they can go up to 30K and all those things. But if it's a informal room space, I think if we can take, it should be lesser. I believe.
Okay, so we pay 30K to do a half day mini summit
Correct, correct,
like we did at SmartNIC Summit last year.
correct,
Or
correct.
or we can just say, hey, let's hold our TSC meeting and an informal get together
Yeah.
for an hour and a half, 2 hours on one of those days.
Correct.
That I think we could pull off. Yeah, it was probably more work than I have time to do for me. Last year, it was more work for me than I have time this year to put into it. To do a full half day summit, which felt like myself last year. There were others involved, but yeah.
So the shared idea was
best method, or if we talked about it on the TSC. To get others' feedback.
Yeah. Because TSC participation is important there, right? Yeah, true.
Mm-hmm.
So we can ask like who all will be there around that time at can make it to San Jose at the time. Then we can check and decide.
Okay.
So I would in that case see then like spending for a dedicated mini summit unless we have a good messaging. Usually that 30K will not usually we cannot justify the expense usually.
Right.
But if you have a very good messaging there, and it's definitely there is a ROI for doing that, then projects decide to do such kind of mini summit. So depending on, do we have such kind of messaging ready now by end of April? I'm not convinced. So that's why I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong totally, but we need a strong messaging to do such kind of mini summit kind of.
Mm-hmm.
We need a good story to tell.
Right. I just don't think we've got. Last time it was introducing who we were, and showing off the different work groups that we had, and each work group provided an update basically of what their status was. We would need something more than that this year, I think.
Yeah. See, for example, if we can like talk about the EVPN gateway at One Summit, which is a right venue for that kind of work, we can still just do a demo or at the booth itself, right? And we can say that, hey, there'll be a demo at this time in this booth. Then we can ask people to join the demo, and we can showcase the demo on to that thing. But for a mini summit, we need a good content.
Yeah, but don't you
So,
feel as though this target audience, edge folks and networking folks, don't you feel as though we would have to introduce ourselves to them as well and have them get to know who we are and what we do?
Yeah, so I think that's by giving a session in normal talks. Paul is already doing that, and we can do it in our booth itself. We can tell about OPI. We have a poster, and we can tell about that, and especially the networking part of our OPI, right? That's what I was referring to, EVPN gateway or our networking APIs. We can showcase those things, do a demo in our booth. But for a mini summit, we need more than that. We need at least like a good amount of stories and good amount of messaging to do a mini summit. I think.
Okay.
Because usually in these mini summit, then I have seen in other project that I manage, right? Without those kind of strong messaging, the room will be like will not be full. If it's part of the main event, definitely, for example, Paul's session, there'll be a lot of attendees because it's a part of the main event. Now, if it's a part of a mini summit kind of a thing, we would want to, somehow bring people in. So we need for example, good AI ML story. If we have it, because our DPUs are AI ML is good a use case, right? If we already had one of those stories around AI and ML, along with networking, EVPN gateway, definitely it would have been, I would say we could have done a mini summit there. But as of today, we don't have it yet.
Right.
And I believe we can do that somewhere in OCP Global Summit in the same venue sometime in October, I believe. That would be a even more relevant audience, I believe. So here in One Summit, I would say we can do this talk and maybe get a booth. And if you're doing a shared one with other projects, right, we can also get a private meeting room, some at particular slot, kind of a thing. Some kind of meeting room, conference room, kind of for a certain time, and do a informal TSC meeting there. Also, we can do that, yeah. Or any working group meeting or informal TSC meeting, something like that.
I think that makes sense to me to do, to do something like that.
But again, don't get me wrong. I'd be more than happy to do a mini summit in one. I can help you organize and do everything. But from my experience, you need good content to bring people into that room.
Yep. I just don't think that our content is there yet.
Yeah, mainly
yeah.
Networking is still not there yet for us. It may be another 4-5 months or maybe 6 months. Then we will be having, I believe, I'm very convinced we will be having a good networking story and AI and ML story. Then we will be in a good position.
Okay.
Maybe next year, One Summit will be, even we will be in a very good position to talk to that crowd, the telco crowd and the networking crowd there. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can check with the TSC, Paul, how many can be there around One Summit so that we can try to book a room kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. I'll check. We'll check with them. I'll put something in Slack, and see what we can do around that.
Okay.
And do something informally, even if it's just the hold the TSC meeting face to face. Folks were talking about needing to get together to work through some of the TSC items. So maybe that's a good place to do that as well.
Yeah, and we can also do a lab visit if required, if all the members are there.
Oh, yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah, that would be interesting. All right. Dang it, I had another topic. What was the other topic? Oh, the other topic is for MWC. We have our standard deck. We started working on a next version of that. Let me see if I can find that. No. I will put it in the chat, the link to it. And again, this is just this is the title, the template, and we wanted to have some diagrams we could put in. Alad sent me some diagrams. I'm gonna paste those into the deck now.
Paul, are you sharing? I don't see. I'm using the phone app.
Oh, sorry. No, I'm not sharing. I put the link in, but I can share.
Oh, okay. No, I can look at it in the chat. Oh, okay. I see it now.
Let's see if I can. Don't know if I can copy PowerPoint slides in. Can I? Does not like that. Can I do it one at a time? Doesn't like that either. Blank slide. Copy. Oh. Copy all the stuff on it. Paste it in. Let's see if I can do that. Paste in as one picture. That's no good. I guess it is one picture. So I put it on slide 24. There's one. Get all of these diagrams that Alad sent me, and we can chat about how we make them fit our branding and not be NVIDIA focused. Come on. All right, so there it is. So if you look at slides 22 through 23, these are the 4 images that Alad sent to be kind of baked into this deck. We had talked about the flow being Mersha has a strong swan IPsec demo that we could put in here. We want to these are the 2 benefits for a telco market that they're looking for: avoiding vendor lock-in, and that we've got tested use cases in IPsec and proxy. And then these are the diagrams that he sent. This is, again, what we want to send to each company before we head to MWC, so that everybody has kind of singing from the same song sheet. Thoughts? No thoughts? Did we lose May? Looks like it.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
So anyway,
Uh,
Alad has asked if he wants, if I've got time to work on this again. I will work with Alad on this a little bit later today or tomorrow.
okay.
And then it would be nice to have the diagrams redone so that they're not NVIDIA diagrams. Does that make sense?
Correct. Correct. Yeah.
Maybe same ideas, but make them OPI specific diagrams.
OPI color themes. Yeah.
Yeah. And change some of the naming here, because I think they're calling these blue fields, and we would change it to DPU/IPU. And I don't know what arc edge is in this slide. So, all right, I'll work with Alad on that, and we can figure out what's next. So it sounds like I've got two things to work on. One is this telco deck, and the other is alerting the team that there's a possibility of having a meetup in San Jose during One Summit, and see who's going to be there and all that good stuff. All right. Any other topics?
So I want to know if the timing is still not convenient for members. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if that's it, or it's just the level of interest in being involved in the outreach group.
I'm wondering, hey, Paul, this is the second meeting at the new time or the third?
This is the first
Or
meeting
first.
at the new time.
So there could be just some people who haven't figured out, like my invitation on my calendar, I knew it was I saw from the Slack that it was at 9, but like my calendar still shows it at 7 Pacific. I haven't figured out how to update the invitation yet. So
Yeah, you've got to go to lists.opiproject.org and download the new
right.
ICS file, the new
Right,
calendar
okay.
file from there, and delete the old
Okay.
one manually. I wish there were a way to do
Yeah.
it other than that, but that seems to be the way that it's done.
So I think maybe we'll check on the Slack channel. Maybe they're just who haven't figured out the new time yet.
Mm-hmm. That could be it. I mean, generally we have Mark here, so I would have thought he would have been here today. sometimes a LOD makes it, but anyway, all right. If nothing else, I'll go take care of my 2 action items
Yeah.
and see what we can do.
Yeah. If you need any help on that, the deck for the telco domain, please let me know.
Yeah, once Alad and I get that done, I'll come back to you in May and see if we can get Creative or someone to make it OPI like.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, Paul, quick question. You said the meeting invite is at lists.opi.org?
Yes.
Okay, I don't remember if I don't remember how I got to the original invite, so I'll go there.
Okay. Yeah, if you
Thank
go
you.
there and then it's in I think it's not main, but it's the OPI.
No, you can just go to list.opi.org/calendar and just subscribe to that. That's all.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, is that opiproject.org or just opi.org?
No, list.opiproject.org.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you folks for joining, and we'll chat with you later.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, everyone.